Welcome back to Let's Build the Ultimate Legend of Zelda coaster in Planet Coaster. My name is Attacking Toucans, and in the very last episode, we got a lot of work done on the interior of the castle, but we are switching back to the exterior today. The very first thing we're going to start off with is the front door. So I'm going to start off with like a wooden frame, I'm going to put some trim around it, and then I'm going to build a door from scratch because this game does have windows and doors, but no windows and doors large enough to actually fill in this space. So we're gonna have to make a custom door. But my goals for this episode is we're gonna finish this front door. We're gonna finish the bottom front facing section of the castle. I want to copy over the other side of the courtyard with the whole garden and everything, so we can have a finished full-fledged out courtyard. I want to raise the roof on the very top of the castle, and I also want to build a drawbridge from the front of the castle. I got a lot of things planned today, and usually I kind of just build stuff and don't really talk about what I'm building until I built it, but I decided that I wanted to start off this episode by giving a short thesis on what we're going to be building, just so you guys know. I don't know, I felt like maybe it might be a little bit more structured if I do it that way, but at the same time I might be wrong. Who knows? I'm usually wrong about things. Would it be the first time? We're also going to get rid of this stained glass little king window. Rest in peace, stained glass king window, you will be missed. Now, another object I'm in love with is these crenellations that the game gives you. I use a lot of these on almost every single possible edge I can because I'm trying to just detail things out. I don't like to have just really bland looking walls. I like to add patterns and shapes to them to give them some sort of decoration, to give them some narrative. That's not even the right word, and that word doesn't even make sense in that context, but narrative is just a fun word to say. But just because a word's fun to say, does that mean I should use it incorrectly in a sentence? Probably not. Am I still gonna leave that in there anyways in the commentary? Probably. No, overall, I think this little entryway turned out pretty nice. Now, I'm trying to add a lot of detail, but I'm trying not to overdo it at the same time. I think you gotta find a good balance between having enough detail to where it looks like there was like care put into it, but like not too much to where things become overwhelming, because things can become overwhelming sometimes if you add too much scenery. Now, the next thing I made is the door. I did this by using this wood platform piece, and then I duplicated it to try to make a shape that would fit the door. Once I made the shape of the door, I covered it in some different wood pieces to try to decorate it and make it look more elegant, because right now the color of the wood it didn't quite match the color I was going for. It looked a little bit too light of a brown, and I don't know, it looked really cheap. So I try to make it look a lot nicer, more sleek. Now, I think it'd be really cool if this game added the option to put objects on hinges, but at the same time, that's probably pushing it a little bit too far. This isn't a 3D animation program. I think one thing that gives me an upper hand when it comes to playing games like this is I've actually done quite a few things as far as 3D animation goes. I took a couple classes and watched tons of tutorials on a program called 3ds Max, because I used to like doing like 3D animation stuff. I wish I had the 3D model still, but at one point I made an HD replica of Thwomp's Fortress from Mario 64, and it looked pretty nice. It was my final project for my 3D animation class, and I probably spent a bit too much time creating that, which wasn't a good thing for me to do because it probably prevented me from making YouTube videos at the time. Every single thing I do, I'd always just try way too hard. I always try too hard with everything I do, which is a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, you don't want to try too hard because then people call you a tryhard, but at the same time, if you don't try hard, then you're never going to succeed at anything because you have to try hard at something to succeed. So actually, it's a really bad idea to not try hard at something just because you don't want people calling you a tryhard. I guess being called a tryhard is actually a good phrase. I don't even know why for a split second I try to make it seem like it's a bad phrase. Actually, now that I think about it, why did anybody ever make fun of anybody for trying to be a tryhard? Like, you're trying to make fun of somebody for trying to do something well? That doesn't make any sense. I guess what a lot of it probably comes down to is insecurities. People become insecure about the fact that they're not accomplishing anything cool or significant in their lives, and so they see somebody who is accomplishing something good in their life, and they try to bring them down in every way they possibly can so they can feel better about themselves. And so calling somebody a tryhard because they're trying too hard to do something with their life is like the only thing they can think about. So honestly, I take the whole entire thing back. Being called a tryhard is a good thing, I would say, in my personal opinion. I would rather somebody call me out for trying too hard than somebody calling me out for not trying hard enough. Alright, so the next major thing I try to do is I wanted to have some sort of ornate decoration on this front rectangular panel of the castle. So there was like one really decorative piece in the castle to look at when you entered. And I really played around with this a lot. I just used a bunch of different pieces and try to combine them to try to make something that looked really nice. And thanks to the power of editing, you guys don't have to see all of my messing around, because I spent a little bit too much time trying to make this look nice. I would like add something that I'd be like, I don't think that's what I'm going for, so I would delete it and do the same thing over and over again. You kind of got a little taste of it just now. Just kind of just placing random objects, hoping they would look good. That's kind of like what a lot of building stuff in this game is, just putting things together, hoping it looks good. If it doesn't, try something else. And just the more you do that, the more you get acquainted with the scenery and objects of the game. And then the more you become acquainted with the game's objects, the more you kind of realize how they can all fit together to make it like a fantastic final product. So I decided to put a larger Triforce at the very center up here because, you know, we gotta let people know that it's a Hyrule castle. I guess I could have tried to attempt to design a Hyrule crest, but I don't know, that would have taken a little bit too much time. And I'm still not really good at creating specific objects in this game. I guess that's something I really need to work on, is I need to work on being able to make 3D objects a little bit better. There's so many things I need to like just improve upon in my life. Overall in life, I suck right now, but it's okay, because I'm in my early 20s. I have a lot of time to improve. I have a lot of time to gain skills. Yeah, I'm always like kind of going through this weird like thought process in my head to where I think, am I good enough in life at my current age? Like in comparison to other people my age, how well am I doing? Like, are my skills adequate enough, or should I be further along in my life compared to where I am now? I mean, everybody's on their own journey, so I guess you can't really compare your life to other people's because everybody's life is completely different. I don't know, it's just really interesting because I've only been an adult for 5 to 6 years now. I'm trying to imagine like what my life is gonna be like when I'm 40 years old, after I've had like 20, 25, 30 years under my belt of being an adult and doing adult things. Even though I'm doing a lot of childlike things right now, playing lots of video games, spending lots of time on the internet. I like to dance a lot, go clubbing, but at the same time I want to do some childlike things while I can. I don't want to grow up too fast. I'm trying to grow up at like an adequate rate. I'm trying to take things at a decent pace. By the way, I wouldn't say going clubbing is a waste of time. Lots of people act like going clubbing is a waste of time, but I don't really feel like it is. As long as you don't do it every single day of your life, I feel like it's a really good life experience because it really pushes you outside of your comfort zone when it comes to just being social, like dancing and just having fun in front of a group of people you don't know. It's just like partying with a bunch of strangers, kind of. And it's like almost an own culture in and of itself. And I guess if you think about it, it's not like the best culture to become acquainted with. At the same time, having a little bit of influence from lots of different cultures is never a bad thing. I like to have a mixture of like different personalities within my own, so I like to meet lots of different people and try to take the good traits from every type of person I meet and try to combine them into like some person. I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. I'm just kind of rambling a little bit. And also every once in a while, you'll see me pan over to the side of the castle where I have a bunch of random objects. Pretty much what I did before I started recording this episode is I placed a bunch of objects that I thought I would use while building the exterior of the castle, and I placed them all on the side of the castle so I wouldn't have to keep on scrolling through the objects. It's kind of like a palette of paint. I put all like the colors there that I thought I would use the most, and even though I still go through my objects looking for specific things, it's nice to have a lot of objects that I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to use just over on the side. All I have to do is spend 1 second and go over to that side of the castle instead of having to like search through my objects every single time I need something. Just trying to save time a little bit, trying to make my workflow a bit more streamlined overall. And then you might also notice the windows that I put above the Triforce. I decided that might be some sort of conference room or something where people can have meetings and then look out over the courtyard. I just thought it'd be a cool little touch to have on top of there. Just one large room just full of windows. I can imagine just Princess Zelda just standing there looking out over all of her peasants, waving her gloved hand from side to side, basking in her glory. And then also trying to move things around to make things symmetrical can be super annoying sometimes when you have too many objects to move around. Also, I do want to apologize that these videos haven't been coming out super frequently because, as I said, they take a long time to make, and it's just been a really busy month lately. I mean, I just made a really stupid decision to start way too many different YouTube series on my YouTube channel at once, and so now I'm sort of paying the consequences because it's making my upload schedule for each series pretty crappy because I'm trying to upload so many different series at one time. And then when I add it to my daily December streaming schedule that I'm doing right now on Twitch, that doesn't really help at all either, but it's okay. It'll all work out. Like I said, I've told several people this who said that they really enjoyed this series and they asked me to upload more. I apologize for not uploading these Planet Coaster videos more frequently, but my promise is that I don't plan to stop uploading them. I plan to keep this series going until the park is done. I'm sorry the uploads aren't very frequent, but at least you can, if you're enjoying the series, you can at least have the comfort of knowing that it will be finished. Then the next thing I did is I copied the courtyard to the other side of the pathway. A lot of the courtyard translate really easily, but I did have to make minor changes to make it still fit because when I rotated it over, some of the things were backwards. But fortunately, a lot of the most difficult things were already done for me, so copying the courtyard over didn't take too much time. Placing all of these bushes actually reminds me. So Planet Coaster has some new DLC coming out on December 18th. It is the Adventure Pack, and the main reason I'm super excited about it is they are adding a lot more foliage, so a lot more trees and bushes, which thank God. That's one of the things that feels really limited in this game so far is the amount of just greenery that you have. I would honestly be okay with a DLC pack that just included plants. Like a plant DLC would be amazing. But also, it looks like they might be adding waterfalls, and they're also adding vista points, which are locations the guests will go to and take family photos and stuff. So that's pretty cool. And then there's going to be a lot more just adventure-related things, like a pyramid building set, stuff for like ancient tombs, like crocodiles, mummies, a bunch of different things. I think it's going to be really good for this coaster too, because I want to build some dungeon-related aspects to try to make it feel like the Legend of Zelda coaster, and I think having this adventure pack is definitely going to help. I mean, they're doing such a great job adding onto this game. I mean, they just added the anniversary pack for free just a couple weeks ago, and now they already have a new DLC pack coming soon. I mean, I hope they just keep on releasing DLC packs for years to come, because this game just has the potential to be the most mega simulation game ever created. Like if they ended up adding zoos and carnival stuff. And then there's also custom scenarios as well. I've seen some really neat custom scenarios. I might do some videos on some in the future. I mean, there's like so many videos that I want to make on my YouTube channel, and I guess that's a good thing. I guess it's good to have a lot of ideas. I might have too many ideas sometimes, but I guess since it's my job at this point, it's good that I have a lot of ideas. It means I can keep on going for a long time. So expect a lot of me in the future. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to do, and a few people suggested this in the comments, but I wanted to make this very middle spire just a little bit taller, just so it was just a bit more flashy. I don't know, it just didn't seem tall enough either. So I wanted to make this roof segment extend a little higher and just like really shadow over this whole entire park. Man, I thought the building I built on the other side of the park for the giant sci-fi complex, I thought that was a big building, but that doesn't even like pale in comparison to Hyrule Castle that we've built. And then also I'm putting a flag on top of the castle. This game has the option to import your own images onto flags, so that's why the flag looks black, but I will eventually put some sort of like Hylian logo on that, so it looks like a Hylian flag. And then that's something else I'll do, is I'll put these Hylian flags all over the castle, on top of all of the spires, so it really just feels a bit more animated. And then the last thing we're going to build on this castle is the drawbridge. Now for some reason, the drawbridge is like a very important aspect of Hyrule Castle to me, just because of the drawbridge in Ocarina of Time. I just remember running up the chains all the time to get the rupees on top of the drawbridge, or riding the drawbridge all the way up during the nighttime so I could collect like the 20 rupees at the very top. And just the memories of the very first times of playing Ocarina of Time, where I would try to run through Hyrule Field quick enough in the very first day cycle to make it inside the walls before nighttime set, so I wouldn't be stuck with the Staffels outside. And then if I would miss out on it, I would try to go get the Sun Song over in Kakariko Graveyard. Man, so many good memories with Ocarina of Time. Sometimes I wish I could just go back and erase my memory of certain games and like experience those memories from my very first time. Because Ocarina of Time, even though it's a great game, I mean, I've played it so many times to where it's not necessarily a super fun experience for me anymore. So it'd just be great to like be able to relive that experience. But then at the same time, I haven't really played much of Breath of the Wild, so I can still try to create some more memories like that with Breath of the Wild, which I will start streaming that in the near future. It's my next sub goal on Twitch, is to play Breath of the Wild. But I've been hitting so many sub goals, and I still have so many games I need to play where it's just almost getting a bit daunting. I feel like I have so many games I've like promised that I'd play for people, and I can only play so much at one time, and it's just like, ah! And then I put these black boxes on the wall for these chains to go inside to make it seem like a black hole that the chains are going inside for the drawbridge to be pulled up, because I couldn't actually put a hole in the wall, but from a distance those little black blocks look like holes in the wall, so it looks like the chains are actually going inside. I might sprinkle in like an actual episode of Let's Build the Ultimate Theme Park into this series as well, just so I can do some more work on the market itself, but we'll see how things go. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching this episode of Let's Build the Legend of Zelda Coaster. If you enjoyed it, please press that thumbs up button, and in the next episode, we will delve back into the interiors of Hyrule Castle.